What's the idea behind this council?
Well, we know that there are about between 100 to 250,000 Israelis living here in Los Angeles. Our objective is to galvanize them as a community, as a strong, active, vibrant community, so that we can engage them in political activism, in pro-Israel activism, and in charity work. We want to ensure that the Israelis here become part of the Jewish community, actually a strong part, a very active part. We want to ensure that the Israelis that came here are part of the community as well, and maybe even more important, their kids. Well, we found out that Israeli kids, because it's so convenient and cheap to send kids to public school, the Israeli kids that go to public school, and I would assume that maybe 99% of Israeli kids going to public school because of the cost of the education in Jewish schools, they lose their connection to Judaism, to Israel. They go out with non-Jews, and a lot of them assimilate. I think the percentage of Israeli kids that assimilate are much higher, is much higher than American youngster, because their parents are not aware to the danger and the risk of assimilation. So our organization, most of our programming is really aimed at the young generation, what we call the Dor Chadash. We have a huge program that we are launching that is called Dor Chadash Los Angeles, that's going to galvanize all the young Jewish community between the ages of 18 to 40. We will make a community out of them with entertainment event, with speaking engagement, with entertainment, and we'll get them engaged in Jewish organizations that are supporting Israel, such as AIPAC, Stand With Us, ESH, Federation, and we'll get them involved in politics, in charity, and I'm sure some good weddings are going to come out of it, of course, Jewish weddings.
So you're mentioning the cultural aspect. What about the political aspect? How can this organization help America understand what the global situation they're facing is?
Well, we are educating our members via speakers from Israel and local here, whether politicians or members in organizations such as AIPAC, as to the dangers facing Israel, the existential threats to Israel, and the existential threat to the Jewish community in America today, as anti-Semitism becoming a mainstream. And what we're asking them to do is to join the organization that are working day and night to create stronger relation between Israel and America, such as AIPAC, such as Stand With Us. We're not an organization that tries to build members. We are calling ourselves the wholesale of the organization. We create community and we introduce to the community all the organization. What we ask for our members and from the people of the community is just get active. We don't care if it's the American Jewish Community, American Jewish Committee, or whether it's AIPAC, or whether it's Zionist of America. Just get active in the political circle, get active in charity, support politicians so that your vote will be heard, your vote will count. Because if we're a community that is not active in politics, nobody knows about us, nobody hears about us, and our vote doesn't count.
Why was there a need for this organization to come together?
The need is simple. As I said, we know that there are between 100,000 to 200,000, 250,000 Israelis living in Los Angeles, and maybe up to 750,000 Israelis nationwide. But they're coming here to make a good living, to live well. They're not involved in politics. They're not involved in charity. They are not a community. Our goal is to bring them, to create a community out of them, a community that will be involved in politics, charity, and our way of doing it is to lead them by example. All our board members, all people that are leaders of organization here, we give a lot of money, we give hundreds of thousands charity, and we tell the Israelis, do as we do. We are not just telling you to do that. We are doing it, and we would like you to follow in our footsteps. You know, in Israel, there is this concept of sucker, or I would say in Hebrew, friar. And Israelis don't like to give to charity, don't like to get involved because they feel they're taking advantage of, they're being abused. They don't want to be suckers of other people. We tell them, you know what? it's an honor to be a sucker. It's an honor to be a friar. Let's lead the community, let's give, let's participate, let's lead our community and create a vibrant, active community that can be part of the Jewish community.
Is there anything you think that Americans can learn from Israeli Americans?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. The American Jewish community has been here for many years. I think the unique thing about at least the leadership of our organization is that we act first, speak later. We pay our dues first, we raise the money first, we talk about approving the budget later. That's why in about a year and a half of this existence of this organization, we have accomplished things that no other organization have ever accomplished. About 6 months after we have been funded, we already ran the concert for Sderot, where we brought kids from Sderot, entertainers from Israel. We ran a beautiful musical concert for Sderot. We raised about, after expenses, $300,000 for Sderot. The money was invested in 60 smart classes in Sderot, is basically bringing the Sderot classes to the high-tech standards of America, where students can see the presentation on the board. They connect to the teacher after hours. They can get homework and get material. Especially in Sderot is important because sometimes those kids were not able to come to the classes. So that was the first event that we did. Then a few months later, in July, we underwrote raising the flag on the Israeli embassy. And the only other place that there is a flag, I think it's in New York. The ambassador, the consulate here came to us and said, "Can you help us?" We underwrote the event. We helped him with the permitting process, and a few months later, we had a flag. The Dor Hadash project that we have told you that's going to unite all the young generation here. This is a huge project. We are basically joint venturing it with a similar organization from New York called Dor Hadash New York. It's a very successful organization that consists of about 15,000 kids in New York. We're using their know-how. We bring the people here, and this is going to be a great project. The budget is going to be about, starting was $250,000 a year, and we found local Israeli affluent people in the community willing to underwrite, and we got it started even before we got the funding. We got the funding later, and we're ready to launch it, and we're launching it this month.